Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And this is a less hairy Justin.
Yes, it is.
Pause
It
for
is
dramatic effect.
Indeed. I can never tell if it's Discord pausing or if you're pausing. I don't mind. I never edit it out because, I like it. I like the effect it has on the videos.
A bit of flavour. Flavor for the fans.
Play for the fans. That is timely. A timely reference, Justin. We have some more spoilers for the Trident class Squid Boy thingamajig assault ship in X-Wing 2.0. Once again, AMG have trickled out some spoilers in the form of social media posts.
Now, they have also said that eventually when they do get their website up and running, they will be posting articles, but at the present moment, they are unable to because they don't have the website up and running.
Makes sense. Basically, their website before they owned any of the Star Wars IP miniature games was just a pamphlet. Hey, This is a picture of Marvel Crisis Protocol, and it looks pretty cool, and there's some pictures of some minis and whatever. I don't think their website was designed for intensive blog posting like FFG's one was. I don't think they even have an online store built into it, so it's probably going to be a new website from the ground up. So it makes sense that they're going to overhaul that and do it right. On the screen in front of us is all the stats for the Trident class Squid Boy. I'm just going to call it Squid Boy from now on, just so you know. One of the things I want to point out before we look at the cards is the fact that it has 3 energy and recharges 2 per turn. That's one of the more relevant stats when sort of assessing some of these cards that we're going to talk about. Indeed, we're going to start with these titles that we've seen here. Let's just go in order that they happen to appear on my Discord server here. Starting off with Nortoland's Revenge. This is a Scum specific card. Neg 2 hull, +1 shield and energy. Before you engage, you may spend up to 2 calculate tokens if you do recover that many energy. Which is interesting that they put this on Scum and not Separatist. So what's interesting about this is it gives you a bonus for calculate tokens. Now, we don't have the same kind of shenanigans on the Scum faction that we do on the Separatist faction, but we do have some. Indeed, a lot of the epic crew cards do give you calculate actions sort of baked into their abilities. The one I really want to have a chat to everyone about, all of them have synergy because they give you a calculate action. But the one I quite like is Comms Team, because you have this kind of weird interaction here where you have the coordinate to white calculate action. And once you do that, you can then perform another coordinate action by spending 2 energy. And then at the start of the engagement phase, you can spend the calculate to get an energy back. So you can chain it together pretty effectively. I like that.
Feels pretty good.
That.
Yeah.
Well, it basically guarantees that you're going to get your full whack of energy back at the end of a turn, unless you spend it on weapons during engagement.
Which, it just seems you're likely to do.
Oh yeah. Especially with some of these guns that this ship has, and it just feels nice and efficient. If this package is a sort of a good, affordable rate, or even if it's a ridiculous rate because it's epic and you just have about 1 billion points to spend, it feels like that little combination is going to work quite nicely. The other thing I quite like as well, being on the Scum faction, we do have access to the shenanigans involving RG-88, both D in the crew and A in the wingmate. RG-88D in the crew slot can give you a calculate action that has 2 calculate tokens attached to it. So you can always just do both. You don't get a linked calculate action you do with all the teams, but it still works quite efficiently. And RG-88A, apart from that, can also just hand you a calculate token. So you could
in Epic, could you just run all the robots and this, or 3 of them and this? That'd be kind of cool.
Yes, because RG-88D has to be on this ship. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I wish there was a way to fly all 4 alongside this, but
you could technically, but you just wouldn't get the RG-88.
You wouldn't get the double calculate. No, you could run a team with calculate and all 4 IGs, and then all of them could pass calculates, because remember, the RG-88A ability is then shared between all of them, which is really, really cool. Maybe that's good enough as well. Maybe that's actually better than having D on Nortoland's Revenge. What do you think of that? What do you think in the comments? Do you think it's better to run RG-88D as a crew, or just have all 4 IGs and just whack on a calculate onto this another way? just for funsies. I kind of want 4 aggressors alongside this, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you got to... You, just for flavour, you've got to have all 4.
That's it.
Purely flavour.
I'm going to make droids on the Scum faction work somehow. Moving right along, we have Grappler. This is not a faction-specific one. While you perform a drill beak attack at a range 1, if the defender is tracted, treat it as being at range 0 instead. Adds 2 hull and removes 1 shield, which I think overall is arguably a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so.
Raw health always trumps the quality of health, as in you always want more shields than hull, but if having the choice, you'd rather just have more of either. So I think this is a slight upgrade in the durability of the ship. And a nice cool ability. Something that's going to combo nicely with one of the teams we're about to see as well. Drillbeak, in case you didn't know, has the option to run a bonus attack out the rear. If you spend the energy, you can do a bonus version of that attack that changes all hits to crits. It is doubling down on an attack that has to come out the rear, so is that too wishful, Justin? What do you think?
I mean, probably, but it's an epic list. You know, you're going to fly around and people are going to fly into you so you can then put them out the back of you. Because that's the new rule with 2.0, isn't it? Like if you fly in, rather than them blowing up, you just put them wherever you want. So you can just put them behind you and just be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, you make a very, very good point. Seems cool. This one feels a bit more niche to me. I don't think doubling down on the drill beak is really what we want to be doing. Like, it is multi-faction, so maybe it is powered down compared to the other ones. But like, if I'm running Scum, I want to do the fun Scum stuff and run like Nortoland's Revenge and that kind of stuff. But seems cool. Timmy's got to have their Timmy cards, Justin.
I will try it eventually.
That's right. Trident. It is a Separatist-specific one. Adds an energy. After you overlap a ship or a ship overlaps you, if you're not tracted, you may spend an energy. If you do, it gains 3 tractor tokens, which is just some lovely, lovely board control. Now, it's not if it's not tracted, so you can't double down with other tractor effects, which is fine. The Separatists don't really have that. I do apologise, my camera has just cut out. But we're going to soldier on. I'm going to put another picture on top of the screen like this, right now. There we go. And we're going to pretend like it's still working.
Are you a B1 battle droid right now, Nick?
I may or may not be a much cooler character. We're going to see what's going to happen. Yeah, this seems cool. Like, you want to fly this really, really aggressively. I don't really have much to say. Being able to ram into ships and tractor them just seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Which is what Epic should be all about. I can't think of anything sort of crazy to do with this.
I mean, the fact that you're in your Separatist means that you've got all the Nantex, so they can use those tractor tokens.
Indeed.
A bit better.
It's a bit of a nombo as well, because if we're going to be using Nantex, then I guess it's like, do you want to be using the tractor capabilities of the Nantex alongside this? Is it a nombo because it doesn't work if the ship is tracted already? I don't know.
But by the same token, you could just tractor yourself.
That's true.
Get a better position.
That's true. Like,
you've got options.
Yeah, just use the versatility. I agree with that. That works quite well. Plus, just run a swarm of vultures, and tracted ships are ripe for the picking. Indeed. Let's move along. The Nemoidian Grasp? Nemoidian?
Yeah, Nemoidian.
Nemoidian, that's a race.
That's
that's Shark Boy, isn't it?
No, Nemoidians are the slimy creatures from episode 1 that
the Viceroy,
part of the Trade Federation. Yeah, Viceroy.
Oh,
Viceroy's Nemoidian, isn't he? Pretty certain.
I'm gonna say yes. Interesting. -2 hull. After you perform an attack, you may perform a red evade action. While you defend, if you're evading, you may roll 1 additional defense die. This feels very situational. What do you think? Justin?
You weren't big on this. I am. I think that's pretty good. I reckon throughout the entire game, you're going to roll at least 1 or 2 green dice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to save you.
Yeah, you're gonna roll a fair amount of dice. You have to you've got to save more than 2 hit points for this to be worth it. Yeah, losing 2 hull is a real cost. That's what I'm sort of iffy about. I like powering out the free red evades. That's interesting to me. It's got to be balanced though, and it's gonna change based on what you're flying against, how you fly, and how your opponent flies. And that sort of all those factors together makes it a bit okay. Is this going to be a bit of a trap card? I don't know. Evades on epic ships are always pretty cool. So, yeah.
I agree on that.
Indeed. Proton cannon battery. Let's move over to a couple of weapons. A hardpoint cargo. Set up this side is equipped face up. It's a 4 red dice attack in the bullseye arc at range 2 to 5. Bonus attack at no extra cost. Change 1 hit to a crit. And the second bonus attack, you spend 1 energy. And same again, change 1 hit to a crit. So it's kind of a bit like a heavy laser cannon, kind of not. Obviously, the dice results are a bit better. You're not removing crits, you're adding them. But it's 4 red dice in the bullseye firing arc. With a decent amount of reach as well.
That range up to 5 is pretty big.
It is. And it means you can take some pot shots from a fair distance away as well. It's just bullseye arc with an epic ship. Now, again, I will reiterate, we're not really epic players ourselves, so I may be, being a bit conservative with this, but I don't know. It seems quite difficult to me.
I don't know. I think the fact that it's an epic play field, you've got to have something eventually in your bullseye, especially at range 5. That's a huge amount of range.
That's a good point. I guess the way you're flying it, if you slow roll it up to your opponents, and you make a good point. It's just, it's potentially 3 attacks if you get the shot. It's no attacks if you miss it. So I'm curious to see how well this will be costed. It might be relatively cheap because of that. I don't know. Yeah. Don't like the feel bads. Never been a big fan of the feel bads in X-Wing.
Well, also the fact that this is a huge ship, so it can be on any huge ship. It gives access to a lot of different lists.
That's true.
Or different factions to have this.
That's true. Hopefully we get a card pack or something that allows the other factions to use this. Or as the other ones get released, hopefully we do eventually get that Raider. We'll see what happens there. Tracking torpedoes. This one's unique, which is interesting. It's for any huge ship, it's a torpedo. 3 charges. During the system phase, you may spend up to 3 charges to launch that many tracking torpedoes, using the 3 left or right bank or the 4 straight templates. Each device must use a separate template. Then each device may acquire a lock on an object you have locked, ignoring range restrictions. And we have some extra rules for this, so I'll put that up on the screen next to the tractor torpedo so we can see what's going on. This is at this remote initiative. Its controller places a relocate token with the same template, that we were just referring to. This is during the system phase. Activation phase has no effect. Engagement phase, when it activates, if it's touching something or we have a ship in its forward arc at range 0 to 1, it detonates. At which point, and I'm sorry, my capture has just cut this off from the bottom here, so I'll just read it out. When it detonates, each ship that's touching it or within that same band again rolls 4 red attack dice and just suffers everything they see. Other rules as well. End phase, during the end phase, if it does not have a lock, it must acquire a lock at range 1 to 3 of Abel. And other rules, after the remote's destroyed, roll 1 attack dice on a hit or crit. In other words, a 1 in 2 chance, it detonates. So you can shoot this and it might not detonate. That's another thing you have to think about.
So Colonel Jendon on the Empire, if he has this on either the Raider or the Gazonti, that gives you free locks at the start of the game. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, it makes the rest of this quite easy to enact.
Yeah.
Which I like. Yeah. It doesn't seem, dumb or busted. I mean, there are other ways to sort of power out target locks, but it's consistent. And, consistency is one of the key of top tier play when it comes to X-Wing, so that's pretty cool. There's a lot to digest here. It's a missile that tracks you, and if you're touching it, or if it's just in front of it when it comes to engage during the attack phase, it's going to do a lot of damage. Well, odds are it's going to do a lot of damage. Red dice on average will roll a hit every 2 dice, as in 1 in every 2 dice will suffer damage, so you expect it to inflict 2 damage. Now, that's going to change in terms of what ship it's flying against. If it's, hitting TIE fighters and stuff like that, if it's going into a droid swarm, that's fantastic. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, Justin.
Yeah.
It's a lot to unpack, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like this is going to see some play.
Yeah.
On every single faction. This needs to be reprinted.
Yes, indeed. With all the relevant cardboard as well. It's one of these things. I remember when we had like the Dark Probe droids and all that kind of stuff revealed in Separatist faction, and I was really iffy on it because of, the complexity behind it. But people seem to have adopted that pretty heavily, so it makes me look at something like this and go, oh yeah, it's epic. Dumb things will happen. Cool, let's do it. Let us move along.
Yeah, to DJ Stormtrooper over here.
To DJ Stormtrooper, laying down some fat beats. This is the Tractor Technician. Oddly enough, not Empire or any faction specific. It's just pictured one that happens to be on the Empire. During the end phase, each other ship at range 0 to 1 cannot remove its Tractor tokens. Just be careful. This is your friendly ships as well. But it does say other, so it's not the Tractor tokens on your epic ship. Before a attracted enemy ship at range 0 to 1 reveals its dial, you may spend an energy. If you do, while that ship executes its maneuver, this activation reduces the speed of the maneuver by 1 to a minimum of 1.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Now, if the enemy ship was going to reveal a 1-speed maneuver, it fizzles and does nothing. You have to spend the energy before they reveal.
Yeah.
But
so, it's a minimum of 1. It will always do at least 1, but...
Indeed.
Yeah, going from a 3 to a 1...
Oh, even going from a 5 to a 4 or a 4 to a 3, if there's a ship trying to get away, it might be the difference between 1 or 2 of your ships getting a shot. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. I like the first sentence, personally. The spamming Tractor token stuff, so we're thinking like Nantex or Quad Jumpers or just dumb stuff like that. That could be a lot of fun. It just seems like a good, powerful card that's non-faction specific, so... It needs a build around. It does need a build around. You can't just slap this on any list.
Tractor Technicians with the Trident title, that seems pretty good together. It means that they're going to be keeping all of those Tractor tokens. Because it does say there, remove its Tractor tokens. It's not... Yeah. Wow. All 3 Tractor tokens staying on a ship.
And both of them do affect your own ship, so just be careful if you're flying a Vulture Swarm alongside this. But it almost feels like just these 2 cards together, you don't really need much else on your list or anything else on your list that uses Tractor to really justify it. So that seems pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously in other factions, you do want to have some kind of a build around. So yeah, that's why I'm like, ooh, Quad Jumpers on Scum. A Quad Jumper's good enough for Epic though. I don't know. They're small and doofy and they pop. So, who knows. Cool card nonetheless. I approve. Speaking of Scum, Corsair Crew. It's a crew and a gunner. Scum, while you perform an attack against a standard ship, you may spend 1 hit result. If you do, the defender gains a deplete token. I'm pretty meh on this card overall. I don't like spending hits unless the payoff is really, really good. All I will say is if this is really cheap and you've got the slots open, just take it, because it means if you're rolling like 1 hit against a TIE Interceptor that is not going to get hit, just give them a deplete token instead.
That's probably the best feels for that.
I suppose.
Otherwise, yeah.
I will say though, I love the art. I love how Hondo's in the background. That's
You're just a fan of Hondo, aren't you?
Hondo's great. Can we, AMG? Can we please get the last chance in this game, even if it's got to be an epic ship?
Yeah.
I just need a big dumb pirate flag on the board, please.
That or like the original Hondo ships, like the literal UFOs.
Yeah,
that'd just be cool.
Yeah, such a cool character. Have you just, like, I've just, on a side note while we're going through this, have you noticed how much awesome stuff in the past couple of years that we need for this game now?
There's been so much Star Wars stuff that's come out lately that, you just keep writing things down.
Yeah, our wish list. We did a wish list video like a couple of years ago, I think during Christmas, and that list is... First of all, we got basically everything that we wanted, and now we just want like 5 times as much.
Yeah.
Anyway, bit of an aside there, bit of an aside.
We should do another one this Christmas.
We will do another one, maybe before Christmas at this rate.
I like it.
Last but not least, we have Droid Crew, a separatist-specific... I hate saying that phrase, separatist-specific team. While you perform a white focus action, treat it as red instead. At the start of the end phase, repair all your face-up crew damage cards. Also adds calculate to red target lock. So
that feels pretty good. Like,
yeah, it also means it has access to all the shenanigans involving calculate tokens on the separatists. But yeah, that's that second sentence, just mass repairing cards.
Ooh.
It's gonna feel awful when you like flip 3 cards and they're like all ship cards and like, oh, why did I spend points on this?
It's going to be that case where when I fly Grievous and you have Grievous's title on him, the soulless one, and you just keep flipping over those ship cards and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. It's going to happen again with this. It's going to be the crew ones that only flip up and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want that. I'll just repair this for no cost.
Is at the start of the end phase, so if those cards affect your ship between the attack and the end phase, it's still, it's not pure denial at that point.
That's true.
But it's very effective. Like, let's not beat around the bush. That's a very, very powerful effect. Treating your white focus actions as red. Yeah, whatever. Just don't focus. It's, whatever. You're not going to use this on a list that really cares about focusing too much. It's just that simple. Very, very powerful. But of course, it is a faction-specific card, so that's the kind of thing we come to expect, Justin. Yeah. So lots of interesting stuff this week to talk about.
Yeah, it's a good one. I still want my first order. Still need that to be released. I need some tasty leaks.
Tasty spoilers. I don't want leaks. I want official spoilers at this point. I mean, AMG have been pretty good coming to the table, actually talking about the stuff that we already knew existed. And at this stage, it's like, oh, okay, well, hey, AMG, that pack that we saw? We don't really have a lot of information about standard ships right now. That's my main thing. As much as I love these epic ships, and I do love the epic ships, I think they're really, really cool, my main interest is in the standard game. And that's just the reality. So I want to know what's going on in this first order pack. We want to know what's going on with the next wave. I know we're acting like spoiled brats at this stage. We yes, baby needs their toys, whatever. I just, it's we've not had a lot of information the last year, and I want something cool.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to have something to look forward to.
That's it. I really want the Razor Crest. I really want it. Anyway. I'm sure now that I've said that, I'm putting out those good energy waves into the universe. Tomorrow we'll have that very article, Justin. But in the meantime, me and Justin will wait patiently and ready to pounce when the information arrives. Thank you for joining me, Justin. If anyone wants to help out the channel, of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy schmancy stuff. Social medias, Patreons, and Discord stuff in the description. You can follow all of that there and, just hang out with us. Hang out with us. Chat with us for a bit.
We do chat. Earlier today I was talking to someone about hipster coffees.
Yes, we are Melburnian, in case you didn't realise. Yeah. With all of that out of the way, me and Justin will catch all of you in the next video.
Bye.
I don't have to hold my hand over the camera anymore.